Hello and welcome to the Undead Gaming News Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things gaming. I'm your host, Zombie, and joining me is my co-host, Litchi.
Hello!
First up in today's news, we have 2K, as they have announced that a new franchise is on the way. Take-Two president Karl Slatoff said that later this month 2K will unveil the details of another new exciting franchise that's planned for launch during this fiscal year. However, we don't know anything about the franchise. It's possible that it might be announced in Gamescom later this month, which will be an all-digital event, and it will have a opening night live show on August the 25th, ahead of its main days on August 26th and 27th. However, in other news, we have Call of Duty Vanguard, which will be released for current and next-gen consoles, but the president and CFO of Activision says, "Our teams remain hard at work on the next new premium Call of Duty release, planned for the fourth quarter. From a setting that our fans know and love to an incredible amount of content in development, including extensive live ops schedules, we believe this release will be an incredibly well received, in addition to launching a great seamless experience for both current next-gen console players. We are focused on continuing to integrate Warzone and engaging our direct relationship with our player base through even deeper content integration between the premium and free experiences, and substantial innovation coming with Warzone itself. Our teams cannot wait to unveil what we've been working on." Call of Duty Vanguard is expected to be officially released later in the summer, likely via an in-game event in Warzone like Black Ops Cold War did last year. Any thoughts?
New Call of Duty. It's not really my cup of tea. But I mean, it's better. It's probably better that they're sticking with their roots in it's a World War II game, rather than going off into like sci-fi, which from what I can tell, a lot of the fans did not like.
Yes, I do remember there was a big outrage from fans because they constantly kept getting sci-fi type Call of Duties and they didn't want that anymore. And yet they still bought them. Didn't really understand that myself, but there you go. And then eventually they went back to World War eras, so...
Oh yeah, the fans are right. It's a love-hate relationship. You're like, I need the new Call of Duty, but it's sci-fi. Because then obviously all my friends are getting it, so I have to get it. We had to play with them. We couldn't just all stay on the Call of Duty that we did enjoy.
Nah, 'cause it's not new anymore. In other news though, Tencent is back in the news as it's limiting gaming for kids. Tencent Holdings said on Tuesday that it will limit gaming time for minors and ban children from under the age of 12 from making in-game purchases. What do you think about that?
I mean, children under the age of 12 not making in-game purchases yet, because quite often children don't have any concept for money. It's just, I want this thing, I want it now, it'll help me in the game. But the limiting game time, no. Just no. Just let them play whenever they want. It's down to the actual parent to be able to obviously restrict their child playing the game. Like maybe this child has done all their homework, done all their chores. They have nothing left they have to do. So they're like, okay, they want to play a couple of hours of video games. Then it's like, nope, you're not gonna have to play.
Yeah, I do agree that it should be up to the parent's discretion whether or not the child should be playing for as long as they're playing for. I don't think Tencent should have any power over that whatsoever.
I mean, obviously, I played a lot of games growing up. Obviously, I also did other things. Like, I did still like go out and play with other kids. I did actually, if I didn't have chores, and sometimes didn't do my homework. So, obviously, a lot of my childhood was playing games, because sometimes there's nothing else you can do. Maybe there's no one available to go out and play with. Maybe it's getting late, so maybe you shouldn't be out at that point. If you're like 12, you probably ain't going to bed at like 9, but what's open at like 9 PM for you as a child to be able to go and do? All you've got is to either watch TV or play video games. And watching TV is just as bad as video games. They don't want them staring at the screen all day, but when that's your only choice, what else are you going to do? Just sit there and twiddle your thumbs because I can't play video games? Although, I guess, playing video games on console, you obviously are literally twiddling your thumbs, but something's obviously actually happening on the screen as well.
Well, it's a bit more than just twiddling your thumbs. You have buttons to press as well.
It's doing something interactive and it engages your brain.
Exactly.
But no, let's say no. Young kids, no, you're not allowed to do things that engage your brain.
Well, they just have a stigma against video games, don't they?
Despite it making them money, because obviously it doesn't matter how much the child obviously plays. They're not making more money because the child already owns the game that obviously they get paid for.
Yeah.
But is this like would this even be an international thing, or are they just screwing China's children?
It will just be China's children, I think.
Because obviously China's children are already kind of screwed. Because like Tencent obviously want it to be obviously the child plays for 1 hour a day, and they can have 2 hours on a holiday. Whereas the actual law, Chinese law, is that they can have 1.5 a day and 3 hours during the holidays. They're still kind of already getting screwed. Tencent just want to screw them even more.
That's not even enough time to do anything.
Well, the Chinese law one is users under the age of 18 can only play online games for a maximum of 1.5 hours a day and 3 hours during holidays. So you could possibly get a few matches in, but no, it's not really a worthwhile gaming session to be able to say, oh, I'll play this for an hour.
Yeah, based on including obviously all the wait times and queues and stuff, you probably get 2, maybe 3 matches in the hour. It's not good enough.
No.
Playtime should be determined by the parents, not other companies or government.
I don't know. Why can't I, as a under 12-year-old, decide when I want to play video games?
Because you're not mature enough yet.
They're not alone in obviously them wanting to screw the Chinese children. Because like other Chinese companies, including like NetEase, amid fears that the game industry could experience a clampdown, they've sold out. They've just sold off their stocks.
Okay.
Just bail on the game industry because obviously with more restrictive rulings, they ain't gonna turn a profit.
Yeah. In other news, however, the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters have been review bombed. The first 3 Final Fantasy Pixel remasters that are now out on Steam, with the next 3 soon to follow, people criticised the font spacing, which there's now a fix for. However, the main reason that people were review bombing the first 3 is because they weren't released on consoles. One person said, "We want to be able to play these games on consoles. Classic games such as Final Fantasy should not be gated behind mobile phones and computers, but please change the text font before releasing on console. Thank you." What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, yes, they probably should be put on console, but no. So are the console players literally going out and making Steam accounts just to...
It was review bombed on Metacritic.
Yeah, so they're so they just... Shouldn't they have to actually have a Steam account to be able to do that? Like, you have to link your Steam account with your Metacritic account to prove you even have the Steam account to be able to say, I'm a review bomb this Steam game.
Well, as far as I'm aware, you don't need to link any accounts to your Metacritic account, because back before The Last of Us 2 came out, for example, that game was getting review bombed before it was even released, because of the leaks that were happening.
True.
So you don't need to have any proof of purchase of the game to review it on Metacritic.
Well, maybe Metacritic should implement that then.
Yes. However, I also don't agree with review bombing any game anyway, much less doing it because it's not on console. That just shows an extreme level of entitlement.
Yes, immature entitlement. Though, to be fair, it was like 11 to 12 people. It wasn't a big majority of people doing it. It was a pretty small number that were tanking the average of the games. So it's not like a big worldwide conspiracy of console gamers just attacking it. It was literally just a small group of people.
Yeah, it wasn't as big as obviously The Last of Us 2 ones, but still big enough to cause an impact.
Yeah, enough to make. Obviously, the first one got down to a 0.7. With Final Fantasy is at 0.8, and Final Fantasy 3 at 1.9. So it at least managed to break 1. So obviously, hopefully they bring them to consoles, because there's no real reason why they can't be on console. It's just obviously which console do you put it on? Do you put it on the next gen or do you put it on the current gens? Both. Regardless, some obviously some console players be immature. Some PC gamers are obviously also immature, but in this regard, it's the console gamers that are being immature, entitled brats.
Yeah, Final Fantasy IV will be released on August 19th, well, the remaster. And the remasters for the other two are September 9th and September 30th. If you're looking to pick up some other games, though, on the Xbox Game Pass for this month, we have Curse of the Dead Gods that was added on the 5th. Also on the 5th was Skate and Skate 3, Dodgeball Academia, Katamari Damacy Reroll, Lumines Remastered, Starmancer. On the 12th we had Art of Rally, on the 13th we had Hades, and on the 17th we have Microsoft Solitaire Collection Premium Edition. Do any of those games take your fancy?
I had a look at that Hades. It looks alright.
I've heard a lot of good things about Hades. It was very highly reviewed.
I think it said something about, it got like 100 awards, some shit.
Yeah, never played it myself though. If you're looking to pick up some new games on the PlayStation Store, however, on the 2nd of August we had Bowling Story 3 Jane version on the PS4. On the 3rd of August we had Castle of Pixel Skulls on the PS4, Hunter's Arena Legends on the PS5 and the PS4, In Soul Mind on the PS4, Orbles on the PS4, and then on the 4th of August we had Enter Digiton Heart of Corruption on the PS4 and PS5, Deadly Days on the PS4, Tokyo Run on the PS4, and then on the 5th of August we had Dodgeball Academia on the PS4, Strategic Mind Blitzkrieg on the PS4, Strategic Mind the Pacific on the PS4, the Falconeer Warrior Edition on the PS5, and then on the 6th of August we had Xenogon on the PS4. If you're looking for free games, however, Epic Store offers A Plague Tale Innocence and Speed Brawl for this week's free games, replacing last week's Mother Gunship and Train Sim World 2. What do you think of Epic Games this week?
I've played through some of A Plague Tale Innocence, so decent game.
Would you recommend it?
Yeah, I mean you're getting it for free, so yeah, definitely get it.
I mean, I already have it anyway because I bought it on the PS4 and then got the free PS5 upgrade for it. But I'll take it on PC too. You know.
I already have it on PC. I've got it on Steam.
Oh, now you can have it on Epic as well. Other games that are available, of course, are PlayStation Now, adding Nier Automata, Ghost Runner, and Undertale for this month. I will mention that Nier Automata has been announced that it's only going to be available until the 1st of November 2021. Meanwhile, leaving PlayStation Now this month, on the 2nd of August, was Jump Force and WWE 2K Battlegrounds.
Wasn't 2K Battlegrounds on Plus as well last month?
Yes.
So they put it on both services?
Yes, and now they're taking it off, well they have taken it off PlayStation Now, and obviously it's expired for PlayStation Plus.
I don't know, that's great management to be able to go, here, this game is free, but also if you have this service, you can also get it on this. Like, the likelihood is that if you've got PlayStation Now, you probably also have PlayStation Plus anyway.
Some people might just have the one, because maybe they can't afford both.
Well, then you get Plus. They can play online.
Maybe that's too expensive for them.
Don't know. Never had PlayStation Now.
I had a free trial on PlayStation Now for a certain time. I think it was like a week or something.
Oh no, I can still get the free trial. It's just I haven't felt the need to actually get the free trial because I don't know. None of the games they've offered have actually interested me.
Well, I only got it because I wanted to go back and play the original Overlord game that was, of course, on PS3. So I wanted to use PlayStation Now and stream it on my PS4.
Yeah.
Didn't work out very well, so I ended up buying the PS3 version and beating it on the PS3 anyway.
Yay!
However, in other news, we have the Ascent Game Pass Edition, which was released missing the DLSS and ray tracing elements. However, the devs have stated that they're working on bringing this version up to par with the regular version, so it will be fixed soon. Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, obviously, before you had the opposite issue with obviously a game on Steam, is that, it was obviously defective and then took years to actually fix the problem, whereas obviously the Ascent's getting fixed pretty quickly after it released, not at its best.
Yeah.
What more is there to say? They're actually quickly getting on this rather than leaving it for years before fixing the actual issue.
Yeah, it's good on the devs for jumping on it so quick. They seem to be quite involved with the community and actually responding to everyone, so that's pretty good. In other news, we have Animal Crossing, which may or may not be getting a coffee shop soon, as the updates 1.10 and 1.11 contained code referencing a museum cafe, and Nintendo have also promised more free content later this year. So it could be a cafe, might not be, who knows. But I do believe that they are giving out coffee-related items at the moment in the game, so it is most likely going to be the cafe, but we don't know for sure.
Probably 90% sure it's going to show up, since it's been in every other title, and now obviously there's references to a cafe, they're giving out coffee-related items, so it'd be very unlikely if it didn't show up.
Yeah, all signs point to cafe. In other news, however, we have Battlefield 2042, as they are going to be doing some technical playtests. 6 playtest sessions will be available between the 12th and the 15th of August, 5 of them lasting for 3 hours and the other one lasting 9 hours, according to an email invite that was distributed by EA. Testing will accommodate a few thousand participants. The minimum specs, if you want to participate, a Windows 10 64-bit OS, a AMD FX 8350 or Intel Core i5 6600K, 8GB memory, 4GB video memory, an AMD Radeon RX 560 or Nvidia GeForce GTX 1050 Ti, DirectX 12 and an internet connection of 512 KB per second or higher. But the recommended specs, however, you have Windows 10 64-bit, AMD Ryzen 5 3600 or Intel Core i7 4790, 16GB memory, 8GB video memory, AMD Radeon RX 5600 XT or Nvidia GeForce RTX 2060 and DirectX 12. And of course, the same internet connection.
So basically, the majority of computers can probably do it then.
Yes.
You don't need to have no big fancy rig.
No. What do you think of Battlefield 2042?
I think it's been a while since we covered Battlefield 2042, but the fact it's called 2042 implies, is it maybe sci-fi?
It is in the future, yes. But it's not overly sci-fi from what I can tell, like the Call of Duty games were. It's a bit more realistic.
Might have to register for to play a test. Obviously on my PC, I don't have a PS5 and Series X.
Yeah. In other news, though, we have Red Dead Online, which will be getting a new Horde mode. On August 10th, Call to Arms, which is a whole new mode that will pit you against waves of enemies as you rally to defend the townsfolk. So I'm assuming that you would be fighting bandits or Pinkertons or something like that, rather than zombies, like in the original Red Dead.
I mean, I doubt you'd be fighting Pinkertons. Why would the government be coming to kill off the townsfolk?
Because they're corrupt and they're fucked. Who knows?
They can't openly go and murder a bunch of townsfolk. They might get caught.
Well, my point is that I'm assuming that you're going to be fighting NPCs with guns rather than NPCs that want to bite your face off.
Yeah, they did actually have a Horde mode last year for Halloween. They had a kind of Horde mode in that you had to survive against these kind of cultist type people. They weren't zombies, but they were like in between zombies and people, because they were zombies but they had guns, which I presume this is not going to be the zombies again because it's not Halloween anymore. But you had the ability to like become a monster in the actual Horde mode, and it was like two teams who had to survive against the undead gunmen.
Okay.
I'll probably be playing that.
I do think they should bring a zombie mode in as well, though. Bring back Undead Overrun.
Yes.
If it'll ever happen, though, there's another question. In other news, though, we have the retro FPS Ultra Kill, which has now become one of the most top-rated games on Steam of all time. New Blood Interactive, who made the game, tweeted, "With 10,000 plus reviews now counted at 99% recent and 99% overall, Ultra Kill remains the highest user-rated New Blood game and one of the highest-rated Steam games of all time. Mankind is dead. Blood is fuel. Our hearts are full. Thank you." What do you think about that?
I guess it's good that they achieved one of the top-rated Steam games of all time, considering it's a retro game, so it's not even a new pretty title.
Yeah, I hadn't actually heard of the game until I saw this news story, so I thought that was quite interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, congratulations to them either way.
Yeah.
In other news, however, we have the PS5 shortages may come to an end next year, as the Sony CFO, Hiroki Totoki, had an interview recently where he talked about the semiconductor shortage that made the PS5 stock so hard to come by, and he said that they have managed to get a new supplier and are able to actually produce their targeted amount that they want to sell in the next year. It's not clear how many PS5 consoles Sony plans to ship, but Totoki has also confirmed that the target for this fiscal year, which ends in March 2022, is more than 14.8 million units. Just over 10 million consoles have already sold since launch, so there could be a significant influx of new consoles over the next year or so. I do hope that that's the case, because we need more people to be able to actually have the opportunity to get them rather than having to fight for them every time they drop.
So, you're saying I should cancel that Thunderdome tournament where the winner gets a PS5?
Hilarious. At the minute, trying to get a PS5 can be quite stressful.
Yeah.
So hopefully, within the next year, they'll be able to have enough stock out there that fighting over every drop won't be an issue, and you can just buy them whenever you want one.
Yeah.
Also in the news, a game director for the game Abandoned has confirmed that the leaked images are real. Now, I decided to avoid covering the leaked images initially because it was all speculation and rumour, and there was no official confirmation whatsoever on anything, so I didn't want to touch it. But now that a game director has confirmed that those images are in fact from a game, I can cover it. As the studio founder Hassan has tweeted, the 2019 version was a lot different back then, but it was to test the PS4's max power and it was running on the PS4 Pro with the native 3840 by 2160 resolution, targeting 60 frames per second with 8K textures. It did work, but the PS4 version wasn't powerful enough to create a full game. So obviously those pictures are from an old version of the game, and I'm assuming that that also means that they will be releasing this game on the PS5 rather than a PS4. What the game exactly is, I don't know. People have speculated it's a horror game based on the screenshots being quite dark and reminiscent of other horror titles, but we don't know for sure. Also in the news is Horizon Forbidden West, which has been delayed until early 2022. What do you think about that?
Why has it been delayed? Do we know?
No, we don't know why at the moment, but we do know it has been delayed. I'm assuming they'll come out with a statement in a couple of weeks, specifying why. As of right now, we don't know.
I don't know, it just makes no real difference. It'll come out when it comes out, man.
Yeah.
I still haven't even played the first one.
Well, I have. I beat the first one.
It's another one of my games that I own that I have never played.
Well, I quite enjoyed the first one, and I even played the DLC, and I was looking forward to this one, but obviously I'm going to have to wait a bit longer now, which sucks, but it's fine, because it means they'll be releasing a more polished version than what would have been released this year.
Yes.
So, what games have you been playing this week?
Well, I bet even our viewers and listeners can guess what I'm going to say. Can you?
Dead by Daylight.
Yes. More Dead by Daylight.
Have you played anything else?
I've played a little bit of Red Dead Online, because obviously there's the new, crimes and stuff you can do. And last week I did the new opportunity that was, complete this on relentless difficulty and you get a free hat. The hat's not really worth it.
Why not?
Well, because, the character I got it on was, I have a female character, and it looks kind of like a miner or a Civil War soldier's hat, so it doesn't really suit her.
Well, it might suit a male character, if you have one of those.
What about you? What have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Demon's Souls. I actually finished it yesterday.
Yeah.
Didn't do everything possible in the game, of course, because there's a lot of events and stuff that are only available with certain world tenancies and everything, but I'll mess about with that on my second run.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier than I was expecting it to be. I would definitely say for anyone that's trying to find an entry point to that kind of game, Demon's Souls might be the best entry point you've got. It's the easiest one, from my experience.
Yeah, even easier than Bloodborne.
Yes.
That's fair, that Demon's Souls does also require you to have a PS5.
Unless you play the original on the PS3. But obviously I can only speak for the remake, because I didn't play the original.
Yeah.
But of course, if you're on the PS4 and you're looking for an entry point to that series, then I would suggest Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls. It's more challenging than Demon's Souls, but it's still a fairly easy entry to get through.
I thought, Bloodborne was known as, the easiest one.
No.
Well, I think that's the one I have, is Bloodborne.
Well, yeah, because that was given away for free on PlayStation Plus at one point.
I don't know if I have any of the Dark Souls. I might have the third one.
I've got all of them, and I'm hoping to platinum them all.
Okay, good luck with that.
Well, I platinumed Dark Souls Remastered.
Yeah.
I'm going to start working towards the Platinum for Demon Souls now. And then after that, I might go back to Bloodborne or I might go to Dark Souls 2, I'm not sure yet. But that does it for this week's podcast. If you have any thoughts on any of the topics we've discussed this week, then be sure to leave them in the comments section below, and we'll see you again next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.